God doesn't require you to lay down your self-life to be some miserable, morbid believer that goes round in circles all the time, thinking only of his broken self. Not at all. The Lord's whole purpose is that you shall be filled with resurrection power and resurrection life and the fruit that comes from resurrection life. That's the purpose of the Lord. He wants to swallow up death with life, with the fullness of life. That's why the Lord Jesus challenges us in this way. Now, Peter was never afraid. You all know that. Of course, it is interesting that he only acted as spokesman to all the rest. It says once or twice in the Gospels, the Synoptic Gospels, it says, and they all said the same. But it was Peter who always put his foot in it. He always was the first to speak out, be straight, say exactly what he thought. And he said he took Jesus aside, took him by the arm, I imagine, stopped him from walking. You can't do this. It's impossible for the Messiah to be crucified. That's not what we're looking for. You cannot do it. And Jesus, looking him straight in the eye, said, "Get thee behind me, Satan. For you do not mind the things of God, but the things of this world." I want to just say something very simple here. If I said something to you and then I looked straight into your eye when you came with a problem to me and were trying to sort of get out of this thing, and I said, looking straight in your eye, "Get behind me, Satan," you would go straight to the brothers here on the front row and say, "Never ask that brother to come back and speak again." Do you know what he said to me? He looked straight in my eyes and said, "Get behind me, Satan." I mean, I've never been called Satan in my life. I'm a child of God. I'm a convert. I belong to the Lord. I'm born again. I've never had anyone call me Satan. If he'd only said, "Satan is troubling your mind," I could have accepted it. If he'd said, "You're thinking negative thoughts," I would have accepted it. But to look into my eyes and say, "Get behind me, Satan," it's too much. How could he do such a thing? I have a reputation. I have rights. It's not right for someone to go around calling me Satan. I don't think I am like Satan. So important was this matter that Jesus called the whole multitude together with the disciples. No longer was it just the 12 disciples. No longer was it just within the circle of those that were close to him. Now he brought the whole multitude together. And then he said, "If any man follow me, let him deny himself, take up his cross, and follow me." And then he said, "For whosoever would save his life shall lose it. And whosoever shall lose his life for my sake and the gospel's, the same shall save it." It's interesting because here the Lord has issued a challenge. It is all to do with the gospel. It is not deeper teaching. It is not something you younger ones can put off a little for a few years and enjoy yourselves down here, especially your self-life, while you're young and happy. There will come a time when you'll have to start living properly. And then when that happens, that's the time to start thinking about giving up your self-life. That's not it. Here, Jesus was saying this is something to do with the gospel. This is something to do with the death, burial, and resurrection of the Lord Jesus. It was as if the Lord Jesus was saying, you see, by that death, and by that burial, and by that resurrection, I have saved you with a tremendous salvation. But you will never know its outworking. You will never know the full power of it, the fullness of it, if you hold on to that self-life. It is utter simplicity. Listen. 2 words. Follow. Follow me. Follow me. In between those 2 words comes this. Deny yourself. Take up your cross. In other words, what the Lord Jesus was saying to the whole crowd was simply this. If you want to follow me, there is no other way than the denial of your self-life and the taking up of the cross. It couldn't be simpler. If any man follow me, let him deny himself, take up his cross, and follow me. So there is no following of the Lord Jesus. You can be a convert and, like Lot's wife, become a memorial to something that happened. Dead. No growth, no advance, no progress, no fullness. Following the Lord speaks of progress. Following the Lord speaks of advance. Following the Lord speaks of service. Following the Lord speaks of his work. There can be no following of the Lord without the losing of your self-life. Now let me come back again. I'm sorry to speak so boldly, but this is the theme that was given to me. I can't get away from it. I would prefer to speak about the blood of the Lamb or the word of our testimony, because it's much more positive. But the brothers gave me this constituent in overcoming, and I have to keep to it. Can't get away from it. So if you don't die, I shall be very unhappy.